Welcome everyone to OnPodcast, the On Microsoft podcast, where we talk about Microsoft stuff on podcast. I'm your host today, Kareem Anderson, and I am joined by
David Allen.
and we are bringing you updates, and a little bit more news about more updates. Our opening discussion today is about the biggest update, which is Windows 11 getting its second moments slash feature pack slash just regular. It doesn't have an official name, but anyway, it's the second biggest update to Windows 11 since last October. We are getting um, a bunch of new features. So we're going to just run through them as part of our open discussion for those of you who haven't had a chance to play with it yet or just wanting to know what's in it before you update it. So I'm going to start with Windows getting Bing Search and Chat. This was big news. This was probably like the headliner of the whole update package when we were kind of going through it. And it's a bit misleading. What Microsoft has done is basically built in a way for people to test out its new Bing's plus Chat GPT service. Previously, people had to kind of get on a wait list. They were instructed to do a whole bunch of background things like get an installer, make it the default. It added a Bing icon to the taskbar. It was a bunch of hoops everyone had to jump through. Microsoft is eliminating all of that and just building it into the search box in Windows. What ends up happening is when you initiate it, it will bring up a Edge browser instance where you can start playing around with the new chatbot, ChatGPT, and kind of testing things out. So this is part of Windows' push towards putting AI into Windows. We'll see if they can do it more elegantly, more in the background, more intuitively. But as of right now, when you update to the next version of Windows, you should be able to start playing around with all of this AI stuff people have been talking about. What's our next feature?
Well, this is going to be a big one, folks. This is something that people have clamored for years, myself included. Phone Link now supports iOS. Yes, you heard it right. Apple and iPhone and Microsoft are playing together. So, another notable feature coming to the latest version of Windows 11 will be the support for iOS via a preview in the Windows Phone Link app. The addition of iOS support in Phone Link builds on current linkage between, as we know, Windows Phone, Windows Phone, we wish, Windows Photo and iCloud integration, and that's something we covered end of last year. If you remember, Apple and Microsoft got together and brought over iCloud and iCloud Photos. Panay goes into further details about what to expect and what will be supported and everything we get here. Basically, PhoneLink is also getting more Android features, with the idea being to be more cohesive between Android and PhoneLink and everything more, I guess, integrated into the operating system. You will be able to launch your hotspot from the Phone Link app. You will be able to launch hotspot from your taskbar down at the bottom. This is something that I personally have seen in some of the Windows developer builds and some of the preview builds. So that will be a neat feature, and hate to say it, but that's a feature that comes straight from, guess what? Apple. You can, with an iPhone on a Mac, directly launch your hotspots. So we are getting some of those. And let's see, the next one we have Windows Studio Effects. Now, Windows Studio Effects, and Kareem can correct me if I'm wrong, so far they've only been available on Windows on ARM, and meaning that, like, for example, the podcast here, you could blur your background.
Yeah.
You could.
What they initially did was they so far have only released it for the Surface Pro 9. So it is now, I think they're testing it on more devices, which is kind of the key thing. But yeah, it initially is so far for Windows ARM because they've been able to add a dedicated CPU for this kind of stuff. So
it's only been on the ARM, the Surface Pro 9, the 5G model for those that
that single device so far, but they're opening it up to more devices.
So essentially we have, let's see, it looks like it's going to be available on the Galaxy Book and the Galaxy Book Pro 2, 360, and it's already available on the ThinkPad X13.
Yeah, I think with the update, the X13s will now have those features available. I think when it came out, because it came out before the Pro 9. So with this update, it will now be on par with that. So Microsoft's essentially able to kind of push it out via over-the-air software. So ideally, any more Windows and ARM devices that are already out, maybe they can start receiving some of this update as well.
And that you're right. I'm sorry, folks. I got that backwards. I had literally just saw an X13 advertisement on a Facebook feed. So for some reason, I was thinking that device was yet to come. It's already here.
Right, but it'll be updated. The other thing we're getting is enhanced Teams chats in Windows. So for those of you who, I think all 3 of you, because I don't know who uses the commercial version of Teams chat, but if you're out there, you will be getting a new interface. You will also be getting some, I believe, in the window itself functionality. So you can adjust your video feed, your audio, things like that, just from the prompt. So for those of you who have no clue what I'm talking about, Microsoft built in on Windows the chat function, which is tied to Teams instead of Skype or any other popular chat service people are actually using, with the hopes of getting people to use it and communicate more. Just picture Skype, but in a windowed form on the taskbar. So a little window pops up about a fourth of the screen, shows who you're contacting, and within that contact, you'll be able to, again, like I said, adjust your video feed, adjust your audio, just like you would if you were in a full app. So you don't have to have a dedicated window that takes up an entire screen to kind of get the right conferencing setup for yourself.
Neat feature for the 3 folks that use
Right.
that. I'm gonna be fair, folks, I didn't even know that existed until just a few weeks ago. So that tells you just how many people actually use it.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
have our next one, which I think people will get some use out of, is quicker access to troubleshooting. Microsoft is making it easier to corporate and family-oriented troubleshooting by embedding quick access platform directly into the start menu. Users can now open the start menu and begin to type out quick and be presented with quick access with a quick access menu that will allow them to send out links to remote control of Windows desktops, screen shares, and other
They can get like they can get like the laser pointer feature, bug logs, things like that. So this is like perfect for someone like yourself who works in admin. If you're trying to show somebody what's going on with their server and they have no idea what you're talking about, you can say, hey, you know what? Let me remote into your desktop, and you can start doing that from the start menu. Basically, you don't need to search for it through command prompts and things like that. So it's kind of a cool feature. Again, this is just a quicker way to let people get in and get out, people how to, navigate their own operating system.
And I will throw this in there. This is also a feature, I guess, that Microsoft has made their own version kind of maybe borrowed from Mac a little bit, because Mac has something very similar built into iMessage for Mac. I recently discovered that helping somebody just a few weeks ago.
Our next one is the widget functionality, which I'll let you cover, but basically it's something we've all been playing with as insiders.
Microsoft continues to have focus on making its widget pane a user destination, and it may have gotten a little closer with the addition of some useful widgets. Thank you, Microsoft, for bringing Phone Link, Xbox Game Pass, Facebook Messenger, and Spotify. So we're finally getting some useful widgets over in the menu. I know when I first heard of widgets, I kind of had memories of Windows 8, and
Right.
it's nice to see that, with playing with these in the Insider program, these are actually useful widgets. The look
Yeah,
of the
it's
widget, go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, you got it. Go ahead.
The look of the widgets has changed a bit, as well as Microsoft opting for various elongated windows versus the larger, wider predecessors. So if you remember, again, back to Windows 8, the widgets menu was rather large. I mean, I'm going to be fair. It took up a good portion of your screen. That's part of the reason folks didn't like it in Windows 8. And Windows 11, if you've had a chance to take a look at it, if you remember the Insider build, it's a lot longer, a little slender. It's actually usable.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, for those of you who are using tablets or just the Surface Pro in general, there is a way to make it full screen. So if I think the two or the third screen that normally comes out is presented, if you need something that's a little more touch friendly, they made it a wider one. The other cool thing about this is that they are pushing APIs out for developers. So now that they can kind of see following Microsoft's vision on what they would like a function widget to be like, hopefully we'll start seeing, maybe a Twitter widget, an Instagram widget, Audible widget, other widgets that we like Slack widget or something like that. This widget pane to make it even more useful and perhaps a little less innocent. In them. I'd hinted at improving touch, which is kind of what they've done with the widgets pane, but they've also been doing a lot with the taskbar, making that larger when it's, for those who have a Surface Pro with a detached keyboard or any other type like a Surface Go or, other Windows tablets. It's also hidden by default, so you get more screen real estate. They've also, they made touch improvements to Task Manager things. So these are all coming into this new update. For those of you who haven't even played around with it yet, there are updates from the last one that improved the UI for File Explorer and whatnot. So we've gotten some cool new tweaks and finishes to help Windows 11. Again, it's still never going to be like Windows 8 if you're looking for like a massive overhaul of the touch interface, but it's inching its way there and it's becoming more usable by the. What else you
Yeah,
got
I
for us?
think, yeah, we lost your audio there for just a second, my friend. I wanted to make sure you were finished with your thought.
Oh, sure.
We have finally natives, and it seems like we've got a few finallys in this build. We had finallys with the Apple and Microsoft playing together for Phone Link, and we've got one more finally. Native screen recording in Windows. You no longer have to rely on a third-party tool, and if you're like me, you use this a lot for tutorials and trying to help people out. And I'll say it's a pain in the butt sometimes to find a good third party tool. One, I hate to say that's free because you don't use it often enough to warrant sometimes paying for it, but you don't have to worry about paying for it anymore. Until recently, Windows users have had to rely, as I said, on a third party solution to achieve decent screen recordings. With this new moment release of Windows, you do not have to do that. And fortunately, Microsoft is bringing a more streamlined way for Windows users to create their screen recordings via the snipping tool. To launch the new screen record, users simply need to search the snipping tool, and then when you find it down in the taskbar or use the keyboard shortcut Windows key plus Shift key plus S to launch it. Once opened, users will be greeted with a new video recording icon next to the traditional capture and it will give them a 3-second countdown before the recording takes place. Snipping screen recordings are automatically saved to the default folder, which can be customized by users. And if it helps you guys out, I believe the default folder is pictures, and under pictures, there is a screen recording folder, because unless mine is in the wrong place, that's where I've been using it, and that is where Windows 11 is dumping the screen recordings. One thing I wish Microsoft would add, if you're listening, let's take this one step further. Give me a little bit of audio support. Doesn't have to be fancy. Give me a little bit of audio support, and we'll be good.
Yeah. Next up this is a special one for Mary Jo Foley, I suppose, who uses Notepad exclusively on Windows. Notepad's gains tabs finally. So they put tabs in File Explorer. They're finally putting tabs in Notepad. Maybe we'll get tabs in Windows or in Word and some other, maybe the Office applications and things. Maybe we'll finally get sets across all of Windows as they implemented app by app, but it's just like it says, nothing super complicated. Now, if you open up the Notepad app, you will have tabs. So if you need to switch back and forth between reviewing code or implementing new code, that's a great thing for you. If you're a writer, you want to check edits and quick edits, it's another good thing for you. If you are assigning, just notes in general, so you don't use sketchy notes, but you use this instead. Again, this is just another way to kind of navigate with using just a single window versus having to kind of, check your taskbar and navigate through multiple ones.
As you said, for, Mary Jo Foley, she's a Notepad fan. At first, I wasn't sure that I would use the tabs in File Explorer, but I've actually made a video on our YouTube channel about it. It's something I use regularly, and I think just for jotting notes, tabs
Yeah, it's
in
great.
Notepad may be a big deal.
Yeah. What do you have for us?
Now we're moving down to some of the stuff that I think is really cool. Accessibility. Braille is coming to Windows 11. Microsoft will be increasing its accessibility features list with the addition of Braille displays for narrators that includes support for 3 new design for Surface displays via Humanware. With the added support, vision impaired Windows users can switch between Braille experiences via the narrator app automatically. Well done,
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Yeah, this is kind of a cool one. Basically, the Humanware create these displays that are touch sensitive. And what ends up happening is when someone initiates the narrator experience via voice access, which I believe is another another feature that'll help you bring up, specific apps via your voice or navigate the whole operating system via your voice. These specialized screens will give you a Braille sensation. So again, we always use narrator for people who can't see. They just kind of talk through this. If you want to actually touch your screen and get a feel for that, Humanware makes these screen adaptions that's great.
Very, very cool. And as you brought up, we have another voice access. In addition to voice access coming out of preview and will be generally available for all Windows users, and it brings support for activating and navigating native Windows 11 apps such as Word, File Explorer, and the Microsoft Store via voice controls. This has been a long time coming. I remember trying to help folks that were disabled when we used good old Dragon Dictator, and I've always wondered, when would somebody put this in an operating system? Thank you again, Microsoft.
Yeah, we got our last one, which is a new Windows 365 app for cloud PCs. For users that need access to the cloud PC, Microsoft is updating its Windows 365 app and making it available via the Microsoft Store. So you no longer need to necessarily go to your admin to get access to it. You can go to the Microsoft Store and start typing in that and get an updated version. It can be launched straight from the desktop, and it will send you directly into your cloud PC with the features that allow for adjusting settings, profiles, work styles, and you can switch between local and cloud PC saves while doing this. So expanding accessibility to more people and more devices. That is a wrap up. Like you said, it was kind of a long one. If you want the details, we didn't cover enough for you. You can go visit our site. We have full coverage on it. Visit our Twitter as well. We have links to the actual update blog posts from Microsoft in their own specific words. With that said, let's move on to our headlines. We have a couple. Since we spent so much time on the opening discussion, I'm going to try and fly through these. So I want everyone to buckle up as we're trying to do this as quickly as possible. Our first headline is what Microsoft is bringing in store for Teams and Teams for Education. This is actually what they did in February. So for those of you who haven't updated or looking to kind of see what's new to you, here we go. We got meetings. First up, Microsoft is adding support for tabs for anonymous users in meetings. This will allow developers to have experiences for anonymous users in Teams meetings. Additionally, the free version will now let users send in to specific attendees using a bot. So you're going to Microsoft is incorporating a capability that allows users to create an external meeting using the virtual appointments Teams meetings template directly from the Teams calendar. So you're just getting help, just kind of like in Outlook when you kind of want to organize a meeting. It kind of gives you prompts to set it up specifically so that you get all the data and all the information to the right people at the right time. The company adds about this feature: employees get a hassle-free meeting experience without having to set up, learn, or manage new tools. The template also lays out a routine scheduling flow, but with the value of business consumer features, such as a tailored meeting invitation for external guests, ability to join any device without install Teams, which is great, pre-appointment lobby that guests enter before meetings begin, i.e., much like Zoom. There's a new update for calling. Experience has been enhanced with a host of capabilities as well as features. First up, in the new capabilities allows for multitasking, picture-in-picture mode on iPads and iPhones, which is great. You can now adjust meetings windows with your finger and move it to another location, so it's touch-friendly addition. Additionally, the presenter, hold on a second. There we go. The presenter has also gotten usability improvements in screen sharing. And the other key calling improvements are made to the platform include a new call control with survivable branch appliance support for Android devices and the Teams authentication improvements and more. And collaboration improvements that help you expand your reach. And these will be going in distribution for Teams. Group chat and simpler, rather than having a tag in everyone in a message individually. You can simply just add everyone. It'll gather all the participants and give them a notification that you're trying to talk to each and every one of them. All participants will receive the notification, thus saving you time while fostering effective communication, says Microsoft. Last thing we have, I think, is for Teams Education. They've gotten two new features, which is parents via SMS, so you can send out a text, and they'll get a link, and you can all do that, so you don't have to do app-to-app stuff. And then you get parent-teacher meetings as well. The former enhances the communication between the course facilitator and the parent, where admins get to choose either email or SMS as the preferred parent connection invitation channel, whereas the latter lets teachers schedule meetings with easily. This is great for all these parent conferences that will be coming up at the end of the quarter for people at school right before they go off to spring break. So that's what's coming, or that's what happened in February. That's what's available for you as of today. What else do you got for us as far as a headline?
Well, I'm going to add just a little bit more to what we did here in the opening discussion. I've got a little bit more information on the iPhone support coming to Windows 11. Again, if you were on the Insiders or the DevVille or any of the Windows Insider channels, you are eligible for it. Not everybody gets it on the first day. That's something I have run into, is people asking, why don't I see it? Basically, if you go to add a phone inside Phone Link, as you know, you are prompted for Android. Well, now there's an iPhone option. If your iPhone option is grayed out, that means that you are not accepted into the preview yet. And Microsoft did say it has nothing to do with the version of phone link that you're using. It is all cloud-based, and as feedback comes in from the small group that is a part of the preview program, it will expand to add more people. Hopefully, it expands quickly. We do not have anything that says when the full release date of this will be. I know some people are chomping at the bit to get it. I understand.
Yeah. The other thing we have in the way of news is Windows insiders get new builds, and so does between both dev and beta. If you're in the dev channel, you should be on the lookout for 25.309. If you're on the beta channel, look out for 1391 and 22.624. 1391. So I apologize. Let me get this correctly. 22.621, 1391, and 26.24, 1391. Those are the two builds you should be on the lookout for, and they come with actually some nice new features. So if you weren't satisfied with the update you got from the Moments 2 update, here's some features for you to kind of test out. We have, I believe for the dev channel, there's a new volume mixer experience. It just means that they've updated the UI a little bit more on both the quick action settings on your taskbar and in the settings menu. Just more roundedness for everybody. You can kind of check it out or bring up the prompt by hitting Windows, Control, and V. The updated audio quick settings experience brings a modern volume mixer that allows for quick customizations of audio and on a per app basis, which is great because, again, you don't have to kind of search through the settings menu to find out which app you're trying to lower the volume with or make adjustments to. The other thing we get is an updated touch settings, which are now back, so you can make all kinds of customizations to that. Microsoft introduced a new set of touch keyboard settings with the insider build 25.188, but then pulled it when they released 25.217. Now it's back with some fixes. The new settings replace the show the touch keyboard when there's no keyboard attached setting. It has a new checkbox with the drop-down menu that allows following tweaks. So you can kind of tell Windows when you would and would not like to see the keyboard. You can start with never, when no keyboard is attached, always, as the new option settings. We also get an expansion of auto management, ACM, which appeared last October, but now it's in Dev Channel Insiders and will be able to turn ACM on for SDR displays and have all the colors across the Windows apps. Whether or not they are color managed appeared accurately or consistently on every supported display. So you could kind of boost your visuals on any SDR supported display. Getting improvements to voice access. Again, we just mentioned that it was made available in general availability for everybody, and they're already making improvements in the dev channel for this. We're also getting with these updates, we're getting redesigned command to help with English dialects. That's for UK, India, New Zealand, Canada, and Australia. A new text selection and editing commands. Start treatment explorations. And I think Microsoft's looking for feedback on all of this. So if you can, give them all the feedback you can. Let's make Windows better. There's also, and this is what we get for the beta channels, there's a bump in the build number. And I believe there's an enablement package that comes via 22.624. So for that build. Other than that, there are some known fixes and some bugs and some issues. Not as many. I think they've actually doodled the list down to, I think, about 3 or 4 left. If you want details on that, visit the site. I didn't include them in this note because, again, we're flying through a bunch of stuff. What do you got for our next headline?
Well, I'm going to change gears a little bit. Let's get back to the Activision Blizzard merger, Activision Blizzard Microsoft purchase, if you will. If you guys are a little bored with it, hadn't heard much about it lately, well, guess what? We've got a little something for you. Stocks were up 1.8% this week, and here's the reason why. The Activision stocks, that is. The EU has basically said, hey, we're not going to make Microsoft sell something in order for this merger to go through. There were Some
Big
rumors
news.
floating. Yeah, that's a big deal. There were rumors going around that Microsoft may have to sell some assets. There was even a rumor I saw where Microsoft might have to sell off Call of Duty. So at least this is a win in Microsoft's favor. We know they've still got the FTC over in the over here in the US to deal with, and there's no guarantee that they're in the clear by no means. I don't want to set that expectation. Microsoft has also been out there, as we know, making deals, licensing deals with Nvidia. They've made licensing deals with Nintendo, and I think for the EU's perspective, this is what they're looking for. Make licensing deals, Microsoft, stick to it, bring content to your gamers, and we might let you spend $70 billion.
Well, I'm going to take the super optimistic approach and say this is a done deal. Microsoft has got Activision. Games, everybody. Let's all celebrate. I'm just kidding. As you said, it's a bit cautionary. Yes, the CMA has already issued some concessions that they are going to be wanting Microsoft to make. I believe that they're supposed to have a formal one sent out this week or so, and I think Microsoft has until April or the end of this month in order to meet those concessions. So we'll find out what they want. Like you said, the FTC is still on their tail, and it just, I think the competition internally speaking about how this may or may not weaken the FTC's arguments going ahead. If the EU, which has been traditionally consumer-focused protections, doesn't have an issue with this, in the US, which has traditionally been corporation-protected interest, is going to have. It's going to be interesting to see how Lena Khan kind of dances around this precedent that the EU is making. But these are all speculations. We have until June-ish, which is the Microsoft internal deadline with Activision, to have this deal go through to see what comes about. But this is at least a good sign. Microsoft has had at least about 3 months of kind of negative headlines about this deal so far. This is one good one coming out so far.
Yeah, I think Microsoft needed that little shot in the arm, and I think the media, us, needed Microsoft to have that little shot in the arm, because I was noticing that certain media members were saying, hey, is this going to go through? Is Microsoft going to abandon it? Well, if it gets here, they'll abandon it. If it gets there, they'll abandon it. We were starting to hear negative press, and that was one thing. When you start hearing negative press, I didn't want that ball to start rolling down a hill a little bit. So I'm glad that Microsoft got a win. Maybe they can get back on their feet and get this deal finished for the gamers.
Speaking of negative press and getting back on their feet, what's your next headline got for us?
I got one more for you. We're going to talk about AI just a little bit, and we're going to talk about it from the Google perspective. And the reason I included this, I just wanted our readers to understand that even though we know Microsoft was first with AI with Bing Chat, as we mentioned in a couple previous podcasts, Google is out there playing with AI too. And guess where they're playing with AI at? In their search ads. If anybody is surprised, and basically what they're going to start doing is AI is going to be able to generate your search assets for you based on ad strength. You do have the ability to say, hey, we don't want you to generate these assets. You can use part of the assets, none of the assets, and it's even going to be able to generate your headlines for you and the variety of headlines that you have. Now, Kareem, I know you work in marketing. You may know a little bit more detail about this than what we have here, but
yeah,
I'm a little iffy about this, to be fair.
I wouldn't be too concerned if I were you. Google already implements AI algorithms to kind of drum up ads for people. Advertisers can pay to have what they call dynamic search ads which basically go and pull headlines based on the query. So if you're typing in, I want to know who sells the best or the cheapest blue socks in your state, so in states, Georgia or South Carolina or whatnot. What it will do is it will pair that search query specifically to blue socks, South Carolina, and it will search the web. It will find your website. It will pull headlines from your website, words specifically to that, and put together an entire headline that presents to the reader. Again, you didn't have to type in anything. You just basically had to set a bid saying, I will pay this amount for this ad. Because it's dynamically generated, it doesn't always make coherent sense, but it does match almost 98% of the time to what someone's specifically searching for. Again, it doesn't read very well. It reads like a robot wrote it, but it does include all of the headlines, all of the information from your site that is relevant to the search that they had. And it sounds like what they're going to do is basically that with a bit more coherency. They're basically going to take ChatGPT or whatever their version was, Bard, I believe it is, and make it sound more authentic. Make it sound more authentic. Yeah. Sorry, grabbing some lunch. Thanks, man. Make it sound more authentic to what the search was for people, less robotic. That's what it seems like, because like I said, Google has been doing this for a while now, and they've been pushing advertisers to kind of use their algorithms, AI, to kind of create this kind of stuff. So I don't see this as a surprise. This is great. Microsoft needs to do, I think they already introduced their version to advertisers, I believe 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we're off to the races on more human-like headlines in our searches.
And something I will throw in there, I had, this was not enough information to warrant a full headline. It looks like we're going to start seeing the APIs come out for some of the Chat GPT and Bing Chat. And if, let me just throw one thing out there. I know the developers are going to go crazy, and there are some developers out there that are going to get a really big payday off of these APIs for AI chat, and it's going to be interesting to see what the developers do with it. I mean, it's just like Android and iOS. Google and Apple give us the operating systems. They throw out the APIs, and all our, millions of developers pick it up and make the cool apps that we use. So it's going to be interesting to see where this leads us.
Yeah, it's the secondary effect that Adele was talking about for everyone who, specifically like us in journalism, artists, things like that, poets, writers, things like that, that were concerned about ChatGPT taking those jobs in specific. I believe Nadella was edging towards this in the conversation, that this is where people will now need to kind of harness their professions, being the person who can wrangle this AI, who can develop for this AI specifically and create things specific to this. That's where the new economy could be for those individuals. So, as we went from mining coal to writing code, from writing code now to harnessing that code into something that's usable for everybody. With that being said,
go ahead.
Okay. No. You have our last thought.
That was kind of where I was going to close things out. This is going to be a complete ecosystem, just like computer science was back in the 90s. You had C, C++, everybody was saying, hey, you need to know the C language, you need to know C++. Well, then that transposed to you need to know Java. Well, now people say you need to know Python, you need to know shell scripting, you need to know how to use Visual Studio. So it's going to be, and there's going to be a complete set of tools, to use your term, Kareem, on how to wrangle AI. So for you folks out there, teenagers, young kids going, hey, I want a part of this, or if you're in college and you're looking at it, pay attention to what's being offered. This could be where the next cash cow is. When I came through, if you knew C and C++, well, guess what? You're making the money. You made the money today. For those that learn how to wrangle AI while you're in the college system, you'll make the money tomorrow. That's my opinion.
And that is a great opinion to end on, everybody. We had a lot to talk about. I'm glad you guys hung out with us for another day. That is the end of this podcast. Where can people find you?
David, PAJ1978. I've usually got my Twitter window open, so feel free to stop by. Good, bad, or ugly, just stop by.
I can be found at Mindhead1 on Twitter as well. Again, I'll read the comments on my post as well, so you can find us, on our website, at Twitter. We want to again thank you guys for hanging out with us. So we hope that we brought you some good news. Go try out the new Windows. Go try out the new ChatGPT. Be prepared for ChatGPT powered ads. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Take care, folks.